The other thing is this is the five homies that are sitting there. Now, see, everybody is scared to do that initial fight. But then once everything starts getting built up, now you've got the cowards that like to sit back and wait. Nobody's looking. And they'll hit you and they'll taste you with the shot when you're not looking. Then they think they're gangster. You've got people that are so scared they'll throw things. I mean, look at all these chicken. Like, there's a lot of people going off right now, in our country especially. I think the Tifa or whatever they call them, where people are just cheap shotting. But that's what happens in street fights. That's what happens is somebody that probably wasn't even in the fight got to look over and is like, oh, yeah, well, no one's looking. And they start sucker punching. And again, there's no accountability. You never know who you're fighting. And that's why I tell people all the time, stay off the streets. There is no such thing as street fighting, because there was a kid that, he was just defending his girlfriend in the bar and someone stepped to him and he shot in on a takedown, picked him up and slammed him down. Thought it might have been the safe thing to do. My man hit the concrete and died, and he's looking at 8 years, right? And it's like, I don't know him personally. It's just a story that I'd heard. But my point is, that's the thing. And I tell you, there is nothing good that comes from fighting on that concrete. Nothing good comes from street fighting, because those cowards are always going to be cowards. Those people that sit there and talk all that mess, they're always going to talk that mess. And if there's a way that, if you don't know how to block that, and again, having something like I said, I stopped fighting the day I started fighting. It's like, oh yeah, just show up to practice. If you really think you can do what I do, show up and spar, because I'm confident in what I'm doing. I'm confident where I'm at. And that's the thing. You think about it as a youngster, all of a sudden, all your friends have to stand back outside of the cage, watch you go in there and defend your quote unquote honor, or, and you guys fight it out, but nobody can jump in, because that's usually what happens. Once the initial fight happens, you already know this. Then people go diving in. Then people go jumping in. And now all of a sudden everybody's gangster for like 2 minutes. And and that's what happens. And that's the other reason why there was a ring or a cage, is nobody can jump in. And it's like, it's really funny, because it's like, well, now you can't talk mess, because hop in here and do it. And above all, what they learn more than anything is how to shake hands and drop it. Like you said, most of the time what happens, if somebody gets clowned, their feelings get hurt. They feel like they've been belittled. They feel like they gotta get themselves back, because 2 or 3 of their friends that wouldn't jump into that fight are going, hey, man, if that was me, I'd do this. Boy, if that was me, I'd, what I'm saying? If I would do, all right, man, now you got to take this gun. You got to have to get him back. You got to do something. Or, God forbid, not even do the gun, they get a bat. Or, God forbid, they get a stick, or they get, they get 5 people and they just dust you, because there's no such thing as ending it. See, the difference is, with that accountability and things like that, is now you have a group. You have people that are looking out for you, because you went in there and you did it. You understand the camaraderie behind that. Once a Wimp to warrior, always a Wimp to warrior, because then you've got hundreds of people that you can, once a fighter, always a fighter in MMA, because you got hundreds and, people, boxers, any that they all understand your plight. They know what you've done. But see, that's the one thing, is you start to develop that. But above all, like I said, is you can feel good, and everybody knows that it's a shake hands. And now you realize how much respect you just garnered. Win, lose, or draw. What do we say all the time? You got in there. At the end of the day, you got in there. And that's what you get to take away from it. That's a win-win. There is no really a loss. There's an ending to the fight, yes, but the fact that both of you were willing to get in there and solve it like quote unquote men, or women, or what I'm saying, like individuals, and just to have that moment, do what you got to do. And then, oh, but real quick, the other thing is, though, is think about it. Usually by having that amount of time to think about it, now all of a sudden it's like, maybe it's not that big of a beef. Maybe I'm not that mad. But when you're caught in the moment, then it's like, oh my goodness, this is horrible. Oh my, what I'm saying? You don't have time to think. That's the other thing that street fighting causes, and alcohol, and all the social, everything going on around you, people chipping in and stuff like that is. But see, when you start to have that accountability, it's like, maybe I'm not that mad. What I'm saying? It takes a lot to get in there and do that, when you know that people are coming in there and there's cameras.